Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new legal breaking reporting video analysis update. For this legal breaking news reporting and video analysis update, we have an astonishing reporting out of the Economic Times. You all remember Tom Homan, right? By this time, I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with who this prick is. Let's take a look and see what this astonishing reporting, again from the Economic Times, has to report about himself, ladies and gentlemen. The article, ladies and gentlemen, is titled FBI Investigation into Border Czar Tom Homan Closed by Trump DOJ After $50,000 Cash Recording. And ladies and gentlemen, the article reads, the FBI recorded White House border czar Tom Homan accepting $50,000 in cash from undercover agents posing as business executives, according to multiple sources familiar with the investigation and internal documents reviewed by MSNBC. The undercover operation captured Tom Homan, indicating he could help the agent secure government contracts in a second Trump administration. The Justice Department closed the investigation in early 2025 after Trump appointees took control, with one official dismissing it as a deep state probe. The federal investigation launched in Western Texas during summer 2024, after a subject in a separate case claimed that Homan was soliciting payments in exchange for awarding contracts if Trump won the presidential election, according to internal Justice Department documents. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Western District of Texas worked with the FBI and Justice Department Public Integrity Section to investigate the border czar and former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement Tom Homan and others, based on evidence of payment from FBI undercover agents in exchange for facilitating contracts related to border enforcement. On September 20th, 2024, the FBI cameras recorded Homan accepting $50,000 in bills at a meeting spot in Texas, according to internal case summaries and sources familiar with the investigation. Investigation closed after Trump takes office. FBI agents and Justice Department prosecutors planned to monitor Homan's actions once he assumed an official role to determine if he would deliver on alleged promises to steering contracts. Steer contracts. The case stalled after Trump's January inauguration. In recent weeks, Trump appointees officially closed the investigation after Trump's FBI Director Kash Patel requested a status update. According to two sources familiar with the matter. Former acting Deputy Director Emil Bove was briefed on the case in late January or February 2025 and told Justice Department officials he did not support the investigation, according to two people familiar with the case. Officials defend investigation closure. The FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Attorney General Todd Blanche said in a statement, this matter originated under the previous administration and was subject to a full review by FBI agents and Justice Department prosecutors. They found no credible evidence of any criminal wrongdoing. The department resources must remain focused on real threats to the American people, not baseless investigations. As it results, the investigation has been closed. White House Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson called the probe blatantly politically motivated. Political motivation, which found no evidence of illegal activity, is yet another example of how the Biden Department of Justice was using its resources to target President Trump's allies, then investigate real criminals, the millions of illegal aliens who flooded our country. Tom Homan has not been involved with any contract award decisions. He is a career law enforcement officer and lifelong public servant who is doing a phenomenal job on behalf of President Trump and the country, Jackson added on behalf of Homan. Legal experts weigh potential charges. Several FBI and Justice Department officials said they had a strong criminal case against Homan for conspiracy to commit bribery based on recordings of him accepting and his apparent promise to assist with contracts, according to four people familiar with the probe. Justice Department officials consider four potential criminal charges: conspiracy, bribery, and two kinds of fraud, according to documents reviewed by MSNBC. if someone who is not yet a public official but expects to be takes bribe in exchange for agreeing to take official acts after they are appointed, they can't be charged with bribery, said Randall Eliason, Eliason, former chief of public corruption prosecutions in the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. But they can be charged with conspiracy to commit bribery. In a conspiracy charge, the crime is the agreement to commit a criminal act in the future. Legal experts said a person who promises to influence federal contracts when they become a public official cannot be charged under federal bribery statutes until they are named or appointed to such a post. However, seeking money to improperly influence federal contracts remains a crime regardless of official status or whether promises are fulfilled. Homan's career path from ICE to Porter Czar. Homan spent 3 decades in federal border protection and immigration enforcement. The former upstate New York police officer started as a border patrol agent in the 1980s and was promoted to supervisory positions. Former President Barack Obama elevated Homan in 2013 to serve as head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement's deportation branch. When Trump was first elected in 2017, he appointed Homan as acting head of ICE. In that role, Homan pushed the controversial zero-tolerance policy for immigrants seeking to cross the border, resulting in separation of thousands of migrant children from parents and family members. Homan's nomination to become permanent ICE director stalled in the Senate, and widespread criticism over family separation policies and Democratic opposition. He announced retirement in April 2018. Consulting business raised conflict questions. After retirement, Homan launched Homeland Strategic Consulting. The firm's website boasted, "We have a proven track record of opening doors and bringing successful relations to our clients, resulting in tens of millions of dollars of federal contracts to private companies. During the Biden administration, Homan remained close to Trump and advisors, working as a Fox News contributor and with the Heritage Foundation while contributing to Project 2025, the right-wing blueprint for Trump's second term. When Trump announced Homan as border czar on November 11, 2024, the White House advisor role did not require Senate confirmation or extensive FBI background check. Homan's consulting work and financial ties to border security contractors prompted questions from Democrats about potential conflicts of interest when he became Trump's top border official in 2025. As border czar, you are uniquely positioned to help your former business client reap a huge windfall from the Trump administration's spending on immigration. Representative Jamie Raskin, who's the ranking Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee, wrote in a letter last month requesting documents and communications with Geo Group, a major immigration detention contractor. Congressional Democrats seek answers on potential conflicts. Representative Pamela Jayapal, Democrat from Washington, Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas, joined Raskin in pressing for answers about Homan's political conflicts of interest. Homan said he had no conflict and would take steps to prevent one. He announced plans to shut down his consulting business and remove himself from the discussion of specific contracts to avoid appearance of conflicts. The investigation's closure comes as Homan implements Trump's promise to mass deportation operations as the administration's top immigration official. Homan openly claimed during the 2024 campaign that he would play a prominent role in carrying out the deportations. Trump comes back in January. I'll be on his heels coming back, and I will run the biggest deportation operation in this country ever seen, Homan said at the National Conservation Conference in July 2024.